Kurt's a really good player, and I really appreciate what he brought to our program when he was here. And for me, he was a critical piece. He was somebody that I didn't recruit. That we were able to kind of re-recruit and get him to stay here. And he was a really good point guard in our system. I mean, he got us playing north-south. He got us playing east-west in the half court. He was a good shooter. He was kind of a big moment guy. And I don't think we get off to the foundational build we did if we didn't have Kurt. So I'll always appreciate what he brought to the table for us.
Tom, because you score so many points and do it so well, do you think your defense is overlooked?
I mean, I'll be honest with you, I have really no opinion on that. I mean, that's, if someone's choosing to overlook it, I'm honestly probably not paying attention to it. So I'm focused on, I honestly, and I tell you guys this, I don't get caught up in the analytics. I'm focused on possession by possession. And, I thought overall today our defense was pretty good. We had to make some adjustments. I thought, on some of their personnel, I thought we weren't as strong in tendencies as we could have been. But yeah, so I just look at it from that lens. I mean, I don't know what the numbers are saying where we're at defensively right now, but to hold a Big 12 team to 51 points at home, we haven't done that very often. So our guys deserve a lot of credit.
Coach, to win points in the paint 48-14 against a physical team, what does that say about your team and what it can do?
Well, you got to be relentless. You got to be relentless in your pursuit of that. And if you meet a little resistance and you can't push through it, well, you're probably not going to be a good team. So you have to have some wherewithal. And obviously we want to make more than 3 threes. But I don't get hung up on that. I thought that what the game called for was us to be more aggressive. Get into the paint, take care of the ball, and I think our guards kind of got a little more comfortable, figuring that out. They Cincinnati, has some different coverages maybe than we've kind of seen consistently all year. So we had to kind of unravel that a little bit, and we appreciate the struggle, we appreciate competition, we appreciate having to be able to figure things out because that's reality.
On one point on the glass, I think it was 17-16 Arizona, and then you guys finished plus 13. What do you think changed?
I mean, I think we hung with it and maybe wore them out a little bit. I mean, that's the hope. I don't know what their response would be, and I haven't watched the film. So, I think we just hung with it. I thought Tobe in that stretch early in the second half, got some offensive rebound putbacks, and we had some kind of big moment, kind of momentum type, either a half-court execution or transition, layup attempts that missed, and I think he was there to kind of pick it up and put it in a couple times in a row, and then that really kind of got us going.
What does it like tonight tell you about your team?
We're here for it. We don't need to be pretty. We're not trying to be a pretty team. I always tell our guys, if we're not gritty, we look like a word that rhymes with gritty, and so we want to be gritty, and that's our DNA, and that's what it takes to win at the highest levels of college basketball, and that's what it takes to win in this conference.
Do you think you need to be a better three-point shooting team to achieve your ultimate goals?
I mean, maybe. I'm gonna let it play out. I mean, and it kind of it's a figure it out as it goes deal, and it's a game by game deal. I mean, I would have to see how a team's going to defend us just to force us to shoot a bunch of threes. I know this. Our guys are standing in the gym by themselves. They make threes. So are you just not going to guard the whole team? I don't know. 5 guys in the paint? I don't know, because there's also this thing called transition, and you have to score on us, and you have to rebound on us. So there's there's so many factors that go into it. And I know isolating that single variable is so easy to do and get fixated on, but there's a lot of components that go into winning a basketball game. I'm watching a lot of college basketball, and I'll see at the end of the game like, wow, that's a really good team. Oh, they're 6 for 27 from 3, and they're winning a really big game. So it's just game by game a little bit. Now, do I want to go 3 for 13 every day? No. But I'm not going to get hung up on it because, I thought we had a few good looks today. I thought Yvonne had a few good looks. He can knock 1 or 2 down, and just got to hang with it. But, to get 28 free throws and, 48 points in the paint, man, that's a heavy load to play against.
How valuable has it been with Braden being able to become such a good rebounder these last handful of games?
It's been great. I mean, Braden's a really good player. He contributes in a lot of areas. He's just gotten so much better over the course of the year. And, you know, I just hope he understands that, you know, that you're not always going to have, you know, 27 next to your name and on the stat sheet for points. It's just not how it kind of goes at this level. So I thought he was great today in a lot of areas. I thought he did a good job handling the pressure and handling the ball. And you know, for him and JB to run the point against this team that turns a lot of people over, to have 8 assists and 1 turnover, you know, it was a pretty impressive performance.
And 6 overall.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. I mean, that you take that. Now, you take that. I wish, man, if you tell me I'm not going to make many threes, we're only going to turn the ball over 6 times, probably going to be tough to beat.
Maybe you're struggling a little bit with the shot. What's your message for him to
Hang with it. Hang with it. You know, what you do is really hard. Hang with it, because you know I love Delhi. I love how he's handling this, and I have a real strong belief that we're going to get the best from Delhi, you know, when we need it. And you know, not that you don't want it or need it every night, but he is going to deliver. So I'm going to hang with him. I'm not going to change anything.
They don't get much from their starting guards. Was it any particular emphasis, or was that just every game?
Well, their starting guards wanted to do a good job on it. You know, number 1 and number 2, Thomas and James are good players, and they've been having a lot of success for them. They played good in their past couple games, and I thought our guys did a good job staying sticky. You know, they're kind of these guys that have good mid-range games. So we want to kind of stay sticky on our post, so that our guys did a good job. You know, the Miller kid was really impressive live. You know, I haven't seen him, first time I've seen him live, and you know, he put us in some situations where, you know, we had to kind of change our coverages, and then once you change the coverage, you're like, oh, you know, I don't know if I like the next coverage, but he's just a good player. And then their guards did a good job kind of setting him up on some simple little pocket passes that gave him a little bit of an edge. Yeah, no, I thought overall, I mean, obviously a great job defensively for our guys who hold the team to, you know, shooting that percentage. You know, you're going to feel pretty good.
Is there a big man in this league that makes as much contact as Krubis and Lloyd?
I don't know. I mean, you know, Krubis, you know, he's an awesome dude and a really good player, and he means so much to us. And he's getting so much better. I mean, I didn't realize he had 17 today and missed a couple of free throws, so we're gonna have to work on that. But yeah, I mean, you know, a couple games ago, I thought the game got really physical. And, you know, as we got off the plane, he and I were talking about it, and, you know, I just told him to hang in there, and, you know, let's focus on a few techniques that can help you out. And he just said to me, Coach, I think I just got to be a little bit tougher. And when a player tells you that, that's taking the physical beating he is, you tip your hat to him, because that ain't easy to do.
Can you walk us through the scenario where you were able to appeal that play after the fact during the timeout?
Yeah, I mean, the dead ball happened, and you know, Mo was the one who came over, who never really complains about anything, and just said, hey, I mean, the guy basically horse called me, and so, you know, it was a dead ball, and you know, and when you do that, when you ask for the review, since it was a non-call, it has to be deemed a flagrant one. You know, they're not going to go back and just give the guy a personal foul. So it rose to that level, and you know, our staff was pretty confident. Obviously, I didn't have time to see the replay, so you know, kudos to our staff, you know, for honing in on that.
Do you have a guy that's designated on the staff that does the reviews?
No names. Let's not make this thing bigger than it is. It's a team thing, you know. I mean, for sure, we have people watching it, but I'm not going to put that on anybody's shoulders. That's my responsibility. So. Yeah, when it goes good, give everyone else credit. When it goes bad, you guys can blame me.
I just wondering, are these guys getting in your ear, or is Mo getting your ear first when something like that happens, or what?
I mean, I think the communication was went Mo to one of our assistants to me. So there you go.
I didn't know if
No, it doesn't have to go there. Mo can come talk to me anytime. We don't have like a chain of command.
No, I was just wondering if one of the managers was watching an iPad or something and said, hey, you gotta do this.
I mean, yeah, listen, I was out on the court, so I don't know exactly how it all.
And one final thing about that, I think the ref said initially was a challenge, but it wasn't a field. It was different, right?
Oh my God. My head's about to explode. Listen, I don't know if I'm really comfortable with any of this stuff. Like, it's gotten a little, you know, I get, you know, whatever we can. protest is the right word, or challenge, I get that. But this other thing is taking on a life of its own so fast, like in the UCF game, there's like, it seems like there's every timeout there's one of them, and then, you know, what I perceive to be is like them baiting us into doing something. Mighty was like, why wouldn't you just give them a technical? And then let's stop the nonsense. But again, lots of things to figure out. I'm sure there'll be some changes made to that next year.
Yeah, because if they're unlimited, like.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I don't know. I mean, I guess you could run out of timeouts, and so it is confusing, and I'm not going to act like I have a complete understanding of it.
Tom, I know it's a Big 12 and it's physical overall, but the ASU was tough and physical. Tonight was tough and physical. Do you see teams doing that more and more to you guys, trying to get you?
For sure. I mean, I think, to win these games, down the stretch of a conference season, that they become physical battles. And, from my experience, it's not like the refs start calling ticky-tack stuff. I mean, we're kind of past that stage of the season, so yeah, I mean, you gotta buckle up, and you gotta be here for it. You gotta play through some physical contact.
Have you seen any of West Virginia?
A little bit.
General thoughts on them?
I mean, Ross is a really good coach. Ross is one of these guys who's been around, in the game, for a long time. He's a JUCO coach in Texas, and then, it was Grant McCaslin's assistant at North Texas, and he and Grant have been together for a few years, and he's just one of these guys that knows how to win basketball games. He knows how to win basketball games, and his teams always have a real, identity on the defensive end of the floor, and then offensively, they're a team that, usually can have a shooter or two that can knock down multiple threes, and then they try to get you in a possession game, so, yeah, a lot of respect for Ross. He's one of the good guys in this business, and, I think they won tonight, so, obviously a big road win for him, and, it sets up for a big game on Saturday.
You go back a ways with Grant. Do you also, did you get to know him?
I mean, I know Ross a little bit, not the same way, he and I don't have the same relationship with Grant, and I have, but, it's just because we just haven't been around each other as much, but he's a great guy.
Does being undefeated this deep into the season create any added pressure? Does it feel like
That's
a
a great,
burden in any way?
that's a great question, I can't sit here and speak on behalf of my players, I always, they have a right to their own feelings. I think it's really important to just keep it in perspective for me. We've literally taken these games one by one, and we've been able to come out on the right side of them. Obviously, we have a really good team, but we're building for something bigger. I mean, my message to the guys this week has been, two things can be true. You could be doing great, but you still have to get better. And I've been on, fortunate enough, and I've been in a program that won a lot of games. I've been on a few of these runs before, and I think it's important to not, winning's not a burden. Winning shouldn't feel heavy. And just to make sure that you're keeping it in perspective. And the most important thing, if you lose, you're able to respond. It's not the end of the world. And that last, if you end up losing your last game of the year, it's always going to be devastating. That's the one you can, hang your head on a little bit. But these other ones, you just got to keep it moving. There's no time to put your head down. And a loss could be a great opportunity to learn. It could be a great attention getter. It could be, it could be a catalyst for your next, growth spurt. So I'm not sitting here. I'm going to go home and start preparing for West Virginia. And we're going to come out and compete and hope like heck we can come out on the winning side. But if we don't, I'm going to go home and I'm going to start preparing for BYU, and I'm going to hope we can come out on the winning side. Just keep it moving.
We've had that message a lot, obviously, just the game by game thing. But with BYU coming on Monday, anything different you got to do?
Absolutely not. No. I mean, you're getting to the point of the season where, what makes, playing in a conference like the Big 12, these big conferences where there's a lot of teams. You play a lot of opponents only once, so it feels like everything's a new scout. You don't get, and you might play them once, 2 or 3 years in a row. So one time, and eventually you get to know them. Where in the Pac-12 you would play most everybody twice, and a few teams you only played once. But the teams you only played once, you played them 7 or 8 times in the previous years before. So you had a comfort in preparation. So it just makes it a little tough. Everything feels like it's a new prep. So it's a little tougher to get a rhythm.
Well, is that good in the sense that it keeps everybody on the edge a little more? Like, okay.
Maybe, but I also think there's value in playing teams multiple times and figuring out what adjustments we can make, what adjustments they make, you know, I mean, I think that makes you kind of, you know, dig a little deeper than the basic surface level stuff.
What do you think you guys did well that you can carry into the game against West Virginia?
Well, hopefully we defend. I mean, hopefully we defend with urgency, you know, and you know, do a good job, you know, limiting our fouls and then rebound the ball. I mean, we wanted to hold them to single-digit offensive rebounds. They got 11. We're right there. You know, we held them to single-digit assists. You know, we wanted to turn them over. You know, we got 10 turnovers in the first half, which is fortunate. I felt okay going into halftime up 6. You know, I didn't feel panicked or anything like that. And you know, I told our guys it's challenging to make the first run. We didn't. You know, it kind of was even, and then we kind of, you know, as we got a little deeper into the half, we were able to make that run. So, you know, sometimes you just got to wait for it.
The energy and emotion that Ivy shows, particularly at home, what does that do for your team?
I think it's really important. You know, I mean, I'm okay with that on the road. I mean, you know, we don't want to direct it to their fans, but you can direct it to our fans and our bench. And, yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with using a little bit of emotion to create some energy to help you dig a little deeper. You know, it's an emotional game. The basketball is an emotional game of a bunch of random events. And so I think you got to learn how to obviously control your emotions, but you got to learn how to also use your emotions as a catalyst for energy.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.